Highland Park, Michigan. It's a really small area near Detroit, just 3 square miles. Once a vibrant community, former home of Chrysler. Now they have 27% unemployment. More than 40% of the population is living below the poverty line. Highland Park schools are performing even worse than neighboring Detroit public schools, and it's so bad that they're being sued by the ACLU. CNN's Poppy Harlow is covering this story for us. Good morning. Nice to have you.
Good morning. When I saw this, we couldn't ignore it. And you read the numbers and you hear those stats, but you have to go to see what is actually happening in Highland Park. They're clearly failing their kids. They've been doing it for decades. The candidates are talking about education reform, not enough. I don't think they're talking about it enough. But the ACLU is taking matters into its own hands, and they're actually suing the school district because of this tiny clause in Michigan's law. So we went to find out for ourselves. Take a look. Woodward Avenue, home of the Model T and once the pride of Highland Park, Michigan, now home to one of the worst performing school districts in the state.
Everybody's pointing their fingers at everybody else, and nobody wants to take responsibility.
The ACLU of Michigan is suing, claiming the district hasn't delivered on what state law requires: special assistance for students not reading up to grade level.
We felt that at this point, given the dire conditions, that a lawsuit was going to be the only route that would get everybody who needs to be at the table working together.
So we went to see for ourselves.
So what I'm doing is starting from the basis, that way nobody will be behind.
Just 25% of 7th graders in this district met state standards for reading last year, and only 7% for math. And it gets worse. In 11th grade, only 10% scored proficiently in reading, and less than 5% in math.
What do these kids deserve? Equality. Fairness.
Are they getting that?
No.
Theodosia Gully taught 6th through 12th grade in Highland Park for 8 years. She says last year, 65% of her students had fallen behind academically.
Some of their performances were below grade level, and the means were not there to bring them up to grade level, such as counseling, interventions. This just didn't happen yesterday.
The lost opportunities bring her to tears.
Every child can and will learn if they're provided with the right opportunities. I just don't think they get that. I don't think it's fair.
No plaintiffs in the lawsuit were willing to be interviewed, and few families with failing children would talk to us. But then we met a frustrated grandmother.
So when we went to the school, they told us he was reading at a 3rd grade level, but they're steady passing him on. Still passing him on.
Her grandson, freshman Garrick Lee Stephen, loves football and wants to be a Marine. What's your message to the schools?
Teach kids more education.
Because Garrick has a learning disorder, the ACLU lawsuit would not apply to him.
From an academic perspective, there have been deficiencies.
Like 0% college readiness on the ACT, despite funding of more than $14,000 per student, among the highest in the state. Joyce Parker is tasked with improving the district. Where does the money go? Because I know that there aren't enough books for all the kids to take home their books.
In terms of overall administration, the district was not managed properly.
She hired charter school operator the Leona Group to try to fix things.
Have a good one. See you tomorrow. What they can expect from us is student achievement. They can expect to see student growth.
But none of the Michigan schools operated by the Leona Group rank in the top 50% statewide. The Leona Group has only just taken over this system, which has been ailing for years. Are kids getting sold short here?
Definitely.
1997 graduate Keith Hollingshed blames the district for leaving him unprepared for the University of Michigan.
I didn't have the core concepts in place to achieve in math or to write a great paper. The things that I should have learned in elementary school and high school. It continuously breeds a population of people that aren't prepared for the world.
Now, the state of Michigan has moved to be dismissed from the lawsuit. They say, we know the district's in terrible shape, but a lawsuit is not a path to literacy. I think the big question here, and what we're going to keep an eye on, is this charter operator, the Leona Group. They don't have a stellar record. None of their schools in Michigan are even in the top 50%.
How long have they been in the school system, though? Because they took over some of the failing schools, so that might be
They've taken over
reason.
some, and so we're going to keep an eye on them. The question with them is, why was it the Leona Group? Some of the people with knowledge of the state's thinking say that wasn't the right choice. It was a rushed decision. Their record isn't strong enough. And whether this is the solution for the kids or not, the ACLU says it's absolutely not. So we're going to try to go back in a year, because they told me in our interview these kids' test scores are going to go up. So we're going to go back and see, are they going up? What's happening to these kids? You've got 35% graduation rate
Totally tragedy.
last year.
You know, in a year, you've lost all your 8th graders, move on, either have dropped out or have moved on as 9th graders and can't read. It's absolutely appalling. All right, Poppy, thank you.
I'm glad they're suing. I'm glad they're suing.
That's not the right answer. Lawsuit? I mean,
That was my question. Why sue?
Because, hey, you get up
I had
knowing
this
the
morning
options.
on
There you go.
Starting Point, got black